I'm Sonia Falayan, and thank you for turning into my YouTube channel tonight, Mind and Manna. This channel is designed to center the voices of Black women, 55 and older, who are interested in leveling up to a more intentional way of life that includes freedom, rest, travel, and ease. And if that sounds like something of interest to you, I would encourage you to please like, subscribe, follow, and share my channel. And tonight I want to share with you 7 reasons why rest is revolutionary for Black women. Now, the first thing we want to do is to define a revolution. And a revolution is a sudden, abrupt change in the way society does things, the way it's operated. It's a shift in the social order. It may involve some violence as the powers that be are resistant to make any changes. It involves mass participation, and it really does involve changing the regular order of how things are done. It's really it's a major shift in the social order. And so when Black women collectively decide to rest and get off the hustle and grind wheel, we will see, and we do see, some societal changes. So let's talk about why rest is revolutionary for Black women. The first reason is that it is acting and resting, taking our time, slowing down, getting off that grind and hustle wheel. It really is an act of resistance to the oppressive structures. Black bodies are policed in our society. Our time is controlled, where we go, how we go, what we do. There's always constant policing. And so to remove ourselves from the traditional hustle and grind wheel is to remove ourselves from some of the oppressive structures that sexism, the medical community, racism, classism force upon our bodies. Black women's bodies have been historically exploited and exhausted. That's just in general for Black bodies in general. For brown bodies too. Anything that goes against white supremacy, all marginalized communities. But I really do want to focus on the expense, labor, and exhaustion of Black women's bodies at this time. The second thing too is that the second reason for why resting is resistance, resting is revolutionary for Black women, is it allows us to reclaim our time and energy. And as I was just saying, our bodies are policed. When we rest, it allows Black women to refine and reclaim their time and energy, prioritizing their needs, our needs, above what's outside of us, above the demands of others. It's very, very important. Black women are often socialized to prioritize the needs of others first: men, children, job, community, church, politics. All those things sometimes come before our own needs. And we know that historically, Black women were expected to take care of the children in the households of white families before they were supposed to spend time in their own if they were working. The third is healing from intergenerational trauma. When we are able to rest, it provides the opportunity for Black women to heal from the physical, emotional, and spiritual trauma that has been inflicted not only upon our ancestors but on ourselves. And sometimes we internalize and take those traumas back into ourselves, not having any other models or just thinking that's what we're expected to do. The fourth one is, I think, very important, and that is challenging the cult of productivity. Black women are socialized to see our worth as connected to what we're able to do and produce. It's important for us to realize that our value extends far beyond what we're able to produce or perform. The endless pursuits of degrees and job promotions and climbing up the corporate ladder, endless church work, endless political activity, volunteerism. Sometimes that's tied to a sense of worth. So when we can extricate ourselves from that and take rest as something that we are entitled to, that begins to change that not only that thinking, but it begins to change the expectations of us. Number 5 is prioritizing self-care and self-love. When we are able to rest, it truly is an act of self-care, self-love, appreciation of who we are, taking care of our needs so that we can be strong and whole. It allows us to prioritize our own well-being, to center our own spirits, our own spiritual and personal development, so that we can nurture our minds, our bodies, our souls, and then in turn that allows us to be able to nurture our families, our children, our grandchildren, and to be the best that we can be in our communities. But what's important about that is that when we center our self-care, we are able to show up for our friends, our families, our communities, our churches, our mosques, our educational systems in ways that are not depleted. We can show up full and whole and rested, setting clear and definite boundaries, so that we again don't exploit others or exploit ourselves, so that we can begin to show up in our communities in a whole and healthy way. The next one, number 6, is creating space. When we are able to rest, we can create space for our imagination and for our creativity. When we're exhausted, overworked, tied to a hustle and grind schedule, our creativity is so drastically diminished. So to be able to dream and to imagine and to be able to innovate with the ideas that come to us when we are in a rested state is amazing. We are able to foster innovation, to create new things, consider new possibilities. Our artistry and our ability to create new businesses and entrepreneurship can flourish. And the last thing I want to say is that when we are able to rest, we're able to foster community and collective care. When we can rest together, when we can actually encourage our sisters, the men in our lives, our children, when we can actually encourage rest instead of exhaustion, we can create a better sense of community that comes together better. When we are able to collectively care for one another, to spend time with one another, when we're not rushed, when we're not exhausted, when we're not in a deficit mode, when we can recognize that our individual rest is intertwined with the rest and well-being of our community, that really is revolutionary. Think about the possibilities of a rested community. Think about the possibilities of women coming together full and whole and excited and full of life and energy, not depleted, bright, excited, full of imagination, and setting appropriate boundaries. No more endless church work. No more working on political campaigns and not getting any credit for it. No more working to exhaustion for little pay. All of the things that we have been known to participate in, oftentimes because we've not felt we've had other choices. So think about the possibilities, the real possibilities of a rested community. One of the things that we're going to do in our upcoming retreat, Jumpstart Your Sojourn 2.5, this will be our third retreat here in Chapala, Mexico, is we are actually going to not only talk about and encourage rest. This is a retreat for rest. We're also going to show and teach, provide tools. We're going to provide tools, examples, so that the women who come to this retreat will leave with a blueprint for how they can begin to not only increase rest for themselves, but start it as a revolution in their communities. Where we have some amazing things planned for this retreat. It will be in Chapala, Mexico, September 19th through 25. We still have some spaces left. It will be an intimate retreat. But we're really focusing on rest even more. We find the need for it is even more in our communities now. So this rest will have even more space for rest, more space for imagination, more space for creativity. We really want people to come and have a transformative experience so that they can get what they come for, but leave with so much more. I'm going to put a link to the retreat in the below this video. Check it out. Come see us in September, and let's really, really think about how we as a community can embrace more rest and more ease. All right? Please like, subscribe, and share if you have found this information helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to talking to you the next time.